Hi everyone, welcome to the channel dedicated to sharing the profound insights and wisdom of Andromedan contactee Alex Collier. If you're new here, you're in for a journey that expands your mind and consciousness, bringing you closer to understanding the messages from the fifth density Andromedan extraterrestrials. For those returning, we're grateful for your continued support. Before we dive into today's enlightening content, we have a small favor to ask. If you find value in the knowledge shared in this video, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing to our channel, and clicking the bell icon so you never miss an update. Your engagement helps us amplify Alex Collier's message, allowing us to reach a larger audience with these vital messages. We'd also love to hear from you, so please engage with the comments below. Whether it's a question, your thoughts, or even just an emoji for the sake of engagement, every comment counts. We read every single comment, and your feedback is incredibly valuable to us, as it all contributes to our mission of expanding this community. So please don't hesitate to leave your thoughts below. Additionally, if you'd like to support us further, consider giving a super thanks tip by clicking the heart with the $sign. This small gesture allows us to continue bringing you more of Alex's messages, unfiltered and directly from his lifelong experiences with the Andromedans. Today's video includes a compilation of several of the many important questions Alex Collier has received over the past few years, so please sit back, relax, and enjoy today's video.
Over the past year, I've been listening and tuning into my inner self to heal my body. It's working, and I'm amazed by the results. My question is that I've not physically seen anything related to fourth dimensional experience, different lights, colors, but have experienced different sounds. I would like to know your thoughts or experiences regarding that higher frequency. Thank you.
Okay. Well, Michael, I'm not surprised. You're a very powerful young man and a Jedi in your own right. And having spoken to you, I know that to be a fact. I'm not sure what you mean by sound. Have I seen forth only in the presence of Morine and Visayas? When I travel out of my body at night, when my dreaming body is traveling, I experience forth. But I don't really hang around in forth much because literally I'm trying to make my way to Zenite because that's where I feel home the most. My experiences, gosh, the experience of forth that I've had has to do with everything being lighter, everything moving faster, colors being brighter, smells being more acute, more pronounced. The experience of feeling more expansive. It's as if my body is bigger, broader, taller, skinnier, which I like a lot. It's almost like if I could imagine myself a dolphin and swimming in the water, and how easy and effortless it is to move, that's what it would be like. And all of my awarenesses, my senses, are far more acute. Now, I would put that on a scale from here to on Earth being a 1, or third density being a 1, fourth being like a 10, and then my experiences in fifth are like a 50. That's the difference. And the difference is because of the band of frequency. And we have what, 72 colors in our bandwidth of third density. It's 121 in fourth, and 223 in fifth. So it doubles. I don't know what sixth is. Color is a bandwidth. It's a frequency. So the more color, the higher the frequencies. That's the only way I know how to explain it. And it's the only way that I can understand how to share it with you guys. Because the English language is it's limited in how to explain certain experiences that I've already had. But I'll say this to you, Michael, whether you're in your dreaming body or you're in a physical meditation, when you go somewhere or you experience a place, a moment, where you see colors that are not in our bandwidth in third density, then you know you're in fourth. Okay? Now, if you're hearing the sounds, that means you're breaching the barrier. That's a really, really good sign. Intend to now feel it with your heart. Feel it with your heart, and then intend to see it with your eyes. Now that does two things. You're training your heart to be in charge, not your eyes, not your head. Okay, you want the heart to be in charge because that's the strongest part of you. That's the most clear part of you, is the heart. That's what I would do. That's what I do. That's what I do when I do my work in nature. That's exactly what I do. Is I work with my heart first. Because I want to get this right too. I really do. I have people that depend on me, so I want to get it right. That's great work, Michael. That's great work. That's a great question. Thank you for asking it.
I was reading an older interview where you said that the Andromedans credit the Cassiopeans for saving their race at one time. Do you know the story behind that?
Actually, I do. In the ancient days, space travel was very archaic. They had propulsion systems. They had some free energy, what we would call free energy, but they didn't have the raw materials to build ships, big, massive starships. What they used were moons, very large asteroids, and they would hollow them out. They would attach propulsion systems, and then they would build on the inside environmental systems that they would use, let's say, in underground facilities or underground moons, etc. They would build those things into these old asteroids or moons, and they would use those as the craft. Well, they were wandering and wandering and wandering after the Lyran War, when everybody took off because of what the Draconians did. And it was the Cassiopeans that found a small fleet of asteroids and moons of Lyrans that ended up, because of their physicality, the Cassiopeans took them to what is now the Zenithé star system. Okay? And that is where they began to colonize with the assistance of the Cassiopeans. They were given some technology to help them grow food faster, to do some healing, etc., etc., etc. Now, the Cassiopeans are not a human race, at least the group that we're talking about. So it was interesting. There was, my understanding, a lot of apprehension, a lot of fear in the very beginning. But what happened was they knew they had to survive. So they overcame their fears. They put it aside. They thought, okay, we have no choice but to make a leap of faith. And it was exactly the right thing to do. and they haven't stopped making leaps of faith. And they were taken to specific planets that would serve their physicality. And the rest is history. They have evolved, they have procreated, they have expanded, they have jumped dimensions. It's quite the story. It's quite the story that would be inspiring for all of humanity to know. I don't know the full story. But what I do know is it's absolutely stunning. It's real science fiction. It's reality science fiction. I mean, how else do you put it? It's reality science fiction. But that's how it got started for them, you know? We started with the Mercury space capsule, a tin can going up into space. And that's all it was a tin can. You know, we couldn't go into deep space with that. But we were blessed to find some technology here on the planet, or I should say the Germans, then the Americans, then the South Africans, then the British, then the Russians, then the South Americans and the Indians in India. Okay, found old ancient technology, and it began. And then we started getting some crash retrievals, and we expanded our awareness and our technological capability to the point that we are where we are, and we're very advanced. For the age of our culture, we are very, very advanced. We just don't know how advanced we are yet, because that technology and the knowledge gained hasn't been shared with us. But it's coming. It is, in fact, coming. And maybe when we hear it from our own space fleet, or you guys hear it from our own space fleet, that will open doors to other possibilities and other realms of meeting other races. Important to note, they are not gods. They are not gods. And the real good ones that don't want to be worshipped, they would walk away from you if you ever tried to do that nonsense. Okay, the regressives, well, they love the worship. Yeah, they dig that. You know, their ego loves the worship. That's what you look for, okay? That's what you look for. That's your sign. You know, Bill Engvall, here's your sign. That's your sign, okay? It's coming. There's going to be so much change. It's going to be pretty miraculous. It's important to keep a positive outlook, though. It really is. We have to pave the way for the future. Okay, we can't leave it to the press. We can't leave it to our government officials. It is not their job. Okay, their job is just to maintain everyday functionality. It is our job to create our reality. We are the humanity, not them. Okay? All right. I'm off my soapbox now.
Alex, I think you said the A's are one of the participants of the 22 DNA program of Earth humans. What do the A's want of this program? What is the others' main purpose?
I can't speak for the others. I don't know. I've asked that question a couple times many, many years ago. And I was never given an answer about the motivations of others. As far as the A's themselves, they just want us to be healed because they understand that how do I put this? Genetic lineage. Genetic lineage is a gift. It is something that is cherished and given great sacredness by all off-world races, because their perspective of life, of creating life, of physical life, of DNA, is completely different than what we value, our value of it here is. Okay? Now, there are Andromedans in other star systems. They keep tabs, they build relationships with those lineages because they are, in fact, lineages. They are genetic connections. They are an extended family. That is no different with those of us that are here. We are extended family. And because of who they are, they would want to know that we're good, that we're okay. And that is a lot to do with the intentions of, if not most, could be all of the different benevolent races, because we are an extension of them. And they take that stuff very, very seriously, because we're family. And I've said this to you guys in many of the webinars, and going back to 91 when I first started to talk, that they see us as a family here on Earth. We're the only ones who don't. We're the only ones who don't see it. And a lot of that has to do with all the programming that we have been under to hurt each other, to hurt ourselves. It's a bloody shame. It really is.
When the cavalry moves in and kicks down the door, are the assholes going to be given one last chance to surrender? If they do, will they be put on trial and taken to a galactic maximum security prison? Also, what precautions are the benevolence taking to assure everything goes smoothly while carrying out such a dangerous mission?
Okay. That mission is ongoing as we speak. Now, the assholes, as you so eloquently put it, that are of Earth origin, we will be dealing with ourselves. And humanity will have to decide how to deal with that. But we will. They will be removed from power. We will know who they are, what they are, and they will be quarantined. And then we will have to decide what we're going to do. Those who are from off-planet will be dealt with in a very different way. I don't know all the details as to how they'll be dealt with, but I want you to look at the idea that these beings have been doing this in other star systems as well. And some of these beings are thousands and thousands of years old. Some of these beings just take a different form, a different body, but the soul remains the same corrupt dirtbag, as I eloquently would put it. They will be dealt somewhere else in another way for not only what's happened here, but what's also happened in other places, which is why the last remnants are fighting so hard here, because they have so much to answer for. Just unimaginable pain and suffering that they have caused to other developing planets and races. It's been a real tragedy. It's been a real tragedy. I am told that at some point, once we are well on our way to developing our new civilization. And what I mean by that is that as we step forward and we begin to build what it is that we want, and we have laid the foundation for it, and we begin to build it and see it manifest in front of all civilization, everyone on Earth, that's when they will bring in the total true history of all of Earth. They don't think we could handle it. Well, the feeling is that we would get very distracted with all the anger and the pain and the suffering, and that we would get so distracted that we wouldn't be able to focus on what it is that we want and begin the process of rebuilding. I don't know if that plan is going to change, but that's what it is at the moment. Based on their observations of us and how we operate, we tend to get distracted. We tend to buy into the drama. We tend to feed the drama. And that's not what they want. They don't want any drama. They want us focused and building our future as quickly as possible. That was a good question. Otherwise, I don't think I would have brought that up.
Well, here's two questions that go very similar. They're very connected, and there's one after the other. So, Jacqueline Grasso is asking, how do the sexes get along and function together in 5D? And Michael Hartwell is saying, do the Andromedans marry for life, and what can we learn about marriage from them?
Some marry, some don't. In regards to the sexes, how do they get along? My experience in watching that is in fact limited. I would assume that they get along well, at least I was shown probably the best side of that. I think as long as there is mutual respect on either side, they get along quite well. I've shared with you my experience, regarding the woman that I undressed in my head, and how quickly that boomeranged back on me. And that's because I wasn't respecting her. I forgot that they were telepathic. I forgot. I forgot. So I think up there, like down here, we have to mind our P's and Q's. Okay, that's what I think. And as we mature, what's the old cowboy saying? When you get too old to be a bad example, wisdom shows up. Okay? I think that's true. I think I can vouch for that. I think that's really true. When you get old enough to no longer be a bad example, wisdom shows up. So there you go.
Who are the architects of the Matrix? Can we override them, and if so, how? If not, what are our options?
Okay. We needed help. Who are they? Well, they're extraterrestrials and multidimensional beings. Primarily third and fourth density, lower fourth density. It's actually not that hard to do, which is actually a sad commentary in itself. Because if you look at a cult, any cult, what they do is they get this group and then they convince them of this is what it is, this is the way it is. I'm definitely no authority on this. And, you know, my first inclination was to talk about religions. um, and it's, and maybe that's the best example we have. Let's look at government, the deep state, at least here in the United States. They have this mindset that they are the smartest people on the planet, and only they have the smarts and the ability to run the country. And they should be allowed to do it no matter what happens to others, because they're the smartest and the brightest. When in fact, they're literally out of their minds. But you can't change that belief system. But if you were to take that on a much grander scale, and you have this innocent civilization that is trying to get up off its feet, create a society, form an identity, if you catch them at the right time, at the right place, and you come down in your starships and you pretend to be God, a God, using technology to wow and woo and to strike fear into these people. You create a paradigm. And this paradigm will continue to exist as long as it is enforced. At some point, this God, this alien, or aliens, might want to go underground, or they might want to go to another star system and continue. But what they do is they build a structure, an infrastructure of control and manipulation, so that if they leave, when they come back, it still belongs to them, and it's still this matrix is still in place. But you got to have the right people to manage it and operate it in your absence. Now, some of that could be human beings, particularly bloodlines, families. It could also be hybrids, the result of you mating with an Earth woman and bearing children who are ET, or half ET anyway. And you raise them to manage your empire, okay, which is dimensional, which is through thought, through money, whatever structures that you decide or deem necessary for this race, you put into place. And it's all encompassing, okay? It's all encompassing. And anytime there is a shift in consciousness, where the consciousness begins to rise amongst the masses, or in certain parts of the planet, and it looks like maybe there's a chance they could be free or break free from the matrix that you've created, you have a war. And you take those best and brightest and you put them on a battlefield. And what happens? If they don't die, they suffer trauma, post-traumatic stress, and they're never the same. They're never the same. And you do this over and over and over again. It doesn't matter how many times you do it, because you're the one in charge. It's not your offspring doing this. You're doing this to the planet, to the race, to keep everybody in check, to keep the vibration low, to keep the consciousness at a real even place so it's easy to manage. That's how this has been done. That's how this has been done. And, you know, I'm trying to make it, I don't want it to be complicated. I'm just trying to break this down for you as to how simple it was for these beings to do, because they think holographically. We don't. Well, at least not yet. Some of us probably do. And that's how easy it was for them to create the structure. We never saw it coming. You know, you separate the tribes, you give them different languages, and when they get too uppity, you put them on a battlefield. You know, you kill the troublemakers, you send everybody back home, and they're never the same. They're traumatized. That's the history of Earth. Sad, but true. That's the history of Earth.
Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you found it insightful, please like the video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon so you don't miss out on future updates. If you have any questions relating to today's video, please also leave them below. We read all the comments and take on board what our viewers have to say about Alex Collier's work. Remember, your support helps Alex Collier's knowledge and the messages from the Andromedans reach more people. If you'd like to support the channel even more, you can give us a super thanks tip by clicking the heart icon with a $sign. It really helps our team bring you more content. Also, be sure to visit alexcollier.org to sign up for our regular email newsletter. It's the best way to stay updated with the latest news, exclusive content, and upcoming live webinars. For the latest insights from Alex Collier, check out alexcollier.live. And if you want to explore over 250 past webinars, head over to alexcollier.tv. Thank you for being a part of this journey and supporting Alex Collier's work. We couldn't do this without you, and we're genuinely grateful for your support. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the vast mysteries of our universe. If you would like to see the Andromedan contactee Alex Collier live via video stream, we hold a live online seminar every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. For more information on upcoming live webinars, please visit alexcollier.org.